You're watching NOWi, the network of Wisconsin Impact. We talk with people doing the work that keeps the community going. This is what's happening in your backyard. Use it, share it, and stay connected. Today our guest is Jose Ortiz, a multifaceted individual known for his vibrant contributions to the artistic sphere. Jose, I'd like to welcome you.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the lovely introduction. Yeah.
Well, I wish I could take credit, but you wrote it. I figure if we're going to introduce you, it's going to be in your words and
Right.
to know what you want people to see first.
Yeah, so that's what the joke. But one of the things that I wanted to tell you is that I'm honored to be like your first guest on this project that you're working on, which is really cool. I know we were talking about off camera a little bit, and I'm just very excited to be here, and it's really cool that you're offering this space where we can open dialogue, and like what I was saying before, it's really important for me to be here and have this chats, so I'm really grateful to be here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I find it frustrating when in the community when you're looking for resources and you just don't know who to go to or what people do or how they can help. So that's the reason why why I started this, was so people can see and understand what's out there.
Right, and I learned, and then we can dive into it in a little bit. But through the podcast, the Spanish podcast, through Healthy Opportunities for Latin Americans, we learn all these resources. We learn about what's happening in the community, and I'm learning a lot too. That I'm like, oh, I didn't know this exists, or especially now with the immigration topic. There's so much that's going on. So it's almost like a relief for our viewers to have a trusted I guess you could say podcast that they can listen to and get all the resources, get all the information.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, what is your podcast called? Because I know it's on there, but I didn't want to butcher the name.
Right. So I host a Latino podcast, which is strictly in Spanish. So I learned, like I said before, I learned about all the the resources, all the information in the community, and I host a weekly podcast that I do, and it's called Las Voces Latinas podcast, which is like the Latin voices.
Okay.
And I feel like is the voice of our Hispanic community, so that's where the name come from.
Wonderful. Now, are you from this area originally, like the central Wisconsin?
I'm from I live right now in Wausau, Wisconsin, but I was originally, born in Mexico, and then my parents are immigrants. My parents immigrated to Texas. We were there for a couple years, and then we ended up, coming to Wisconsin, explore the area, and my parents, they found work here, and we liked it. We like how it's very peaceful, and you can go to the cabin and fishing. So we just got enamored with the culture here, and so. This is my home.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I tell my wife all the time I'm an immigrant too. I'm from New Jersey. So.
New Jersey, right? Yeah. we're all immigrants. Yeah.
So why don't you tell me about like what drives your creative work? Like what started you? Like what inspires you to do the podcast? And
so what inspires me is just like listening to people's stories. Listening to I've just heard so many incredible stories, not only immigrant stories, but just people who have like this talent and they have, this creativity, and I always gravitate towards that. And I just try to find ways to showcase that, I want to showcase, an immigrant story. I want to showcase, this artist or whatever. And I think I just made it my mission to give them a voice and say like, okay, I want to interview you. I want to talk about, your story. I want to about, and it all comes from like, trying to give people like a different perspective, of what it is to be an immigrant. Because I feel that, especially in the media, for the Latino community, we're painted like we're, like we're lazy, that we're criminals. And so I just made it my job to change the narrative. And it's like, no, it's not true. We're hard workers. We're entrepreneurs. We're artists. we're podcaster. We're so talented. So I just made it my mission to
three-dimensional people instead of like the two-dimensional narrative that we're getting right now.
Exactly, and that's why, like I said before, and it's so important for me to start open the dialogue and start this conversations that is not true, because I think even we were talking about off camera a little bit about it, about how we are presented with this notion of what it is, a Latino, like right now, and if that captivates you, I can't remember the word that you say, but if it captures you, it captivates you. That's very dangerous. And we have to really
sensationalism.
Yeah, so we have to be really careful when that's presented to us, and we have to like step back a little bit. Don't take it as a face value. And I have a big problem with that. And I met people like that who are take things as face value, and I try to take initiative and be like, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to give you a different perspective. That's
Exactly. So we were talking about like you're a podcaster, you're a storyteller, you're an artist. What kind of other mediums do you use? Like I saw you're a musician, you do some art, which is hard to see any like photos of your art. I've definitely seen the times where you've played music when you were a little bit younger, but
yeah. I just feel that I know when I do the art, a lot of the art is not. I feel like it's special when it's not where we don't showcase it. I feel like because it's important for me to do the art for the love of doing arts. Right? We're so enamored, especially now. We want to overshare. You know what I mean? Overshare what we're doing. So I feel like in order for those pieces to be special, I feel like I needed them to be more reserved, more like the only pieces that, the only people that are able to see the pieces are the pieces who own them. And like we were talking about, like right now I use just different, one of the pieces we were talking about that Batman, that I did a long time ago. And it was just like a side panel. It was like a metal side panel of like a heater, and that's just my canvas, and I just spray paint, and I made a stencil, and it was just a way for me to express myself. But it's also trying to teach people that we have all the tools that you need. Like you don't need to go to school, you don't need to go to Michael's and buy the expensive canvases,
right,
or buy the $100 paintbrush. Like, no, you have all the tools that you need. So that was one of the things that I was trying to showcase, through those projects.
And I think that also goes with the idea of like the storytelling. You don't need to have I want to say compelling story, but you don't have to have like the gut-wrenching, everything needs to be dramatized. Sometimes it's just sitting down with someone and having a conversation can really impact what goes on in the world.
One of the things that I like to do is talking to strangers, and I think it's so natural for me because I'm very friendly, and I feel like in our society we should try to do that more. Talk to strangers, and it comes from, to try to understand each other. You know what I mean? And I think we don't do that enough. We just, like, it goes back to, we just take things as face value. And I want to give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about like, the art, and one of the things that I was part of, I was a part of building a mural, and for a few months I worked at the free clinic, through my organization, through HOLA. I was through HOLA. We offer interpreting services to this free clinic in Wassa. It's the Wassa Free Clinic over at the Community Partners Campus. So I was there for a few months, and I was able to learn that close to 75% of those people were Hispanic. The patients. Right. So we wanted to do something to honor them. and we just, we painted this beautiful mural. But the challenging thing about the mural was that I was like the conductor. I designed the mural, but the idea, I wanted the community to be part of it. I wanted people to get their hands dirty and paint and be part of it, right?
Right.
Because I feel like with art, same thing with the stuff that you haven't seen, right? It's because it has some essence, it has something special about it. But one of the things that I learned from that is when we do things that are community oriented, when you um, do things that are engaging like that, you are in an environment where at first they're all strangers. We had community events where, like, oh, come help, we need help painting our mural, because they were laid on canvases, and then we painted it, and then we put it on the actual wall. And so we invited the community. We didn't say like this is just the Latinos. We didn't say like women or men, kids. Everybody was invited to be part of. If whoever wanted to be part of this, mural, it was invited. And what I found out about it is that, these people, they just gather, and at first they were all strangers. And one of the cool things is that when we sat down, working on these projects, it was very inevitable to open conversations and be like, oh, where are you from? Or where did you grow up? And we start changing our perspective and start learning things about other people that if that opportunity never presented itself, we would probably never spoke to that person.
That is
And I
so
think,
true.
and I think those engaging type of things make our community stronger, I feel.
That's so true. And I say this to my kids a lot. I said, when you start talking to someone, you're going to realize that you have more in common with them than you have the opposite, that you don't have in common with them. You don't, and the argument I used with them is you don't have to agree with everything. Just because you have something in common, you don't have to agree with them. But you can at least engage and treat them like a human being. Engage and have that conversation.
Right. And I feel like in our society, we need more of that, more opportunities to engage with and get to know the other person, get to know your neighbor. And I try to do that. I try to take initiative and try to do that. And I think naturally we're so quick to judge the person, even, I know that it happens to me too, where I'm just like looking at the person and I'm like, oh, you have a preconceived notion. But the moment that you start like speaking to that person, and like you said, then it starts, it's just different perspectives. Like, oh, I always thought, you were this, or I always thought that. And I think, same thing with the Latino community, where we're very passionate. We do things with heart. We are hard workers. And just simply, I try to be one of the voices. I'm not, claiming that I am that I know everything that every Hispanic is going through, but I can just tell you my perspective, you know what I mean, of what it is, and to be Latino, and all the hardships, especially now, in our political climate.
Yeah. So tell me about the podcast. Tell me about the podcast and Ola. Was it your creation? Was it your inspiration, or was you kind of took the reins from someone else, or the idea from someone else, or is it yours? All yours.
So the Healthy Opportunities for Latin Americans, it was an organization that had its inception was during COVID. It was H2N. It started out as H2N, which is Hmong and Hispanic organization, and then after that, just branch it out, because I think it was necessary for our community just to have our own Latino organization. I think it'd just be easier, and it's like it's funded, it's like through grants, in order for the for this operation to keep going. It's we need grants, from the government. And that's one of the things that I wanted to tell you too, that it's especially now because it's a lot of the workers now are their jobs are in jeopardy because of what's happening. But that doesn't mean we're going to stop doing what we're doing, and that's why it's so important to me to be here and tell you about it. So this organization, started out during COVID, and then as a part of an other group, which were the Hmong, the Hmong community. Then we branched it out and we started our own organization. But before I collaborated with HOLA, I already had been doing like podcasts. Also, a few podcasts that would be tied to entrepreneurship or tied to what it is to be,
I think I've seen
Latino, and like just giving you my perspective with my friend Jasmine Carvajal. And so when they asked me to be part of it, it's like, yeah, let's do it, So then my job was just to create the whole podcast, tied to, starting those conversations in the community and starting learning about all the resources, teaching people where they can go get vaccinated, where they can seek, medical, help if they need it, where they can go, where are the food pantries, and just learning all that. And especially now, we're focusing on the immigration topic. And one of the things that I've been, seeing is that there's so much misinformation. There's so much, especially in the Latino community, they're scared. They're scared. And I'm thankful that we are one of the trusted entities that we can say like, okay, we've worked with other organizations. This is not true, and we try to, educate them and be like, hey, you have rights. Everybody has rights, whether constitutional rights, whether you're from another country or not, or whatever. So it's to kind of get a sense of the topics that we talk about. And one of the things that I wanted to touch is that we have a WhatsApp group where you can, through HOLA, if you go to Healthy Opportunities for Latin Americans, and if you reach out to us, and we have a WhatsApp, what do you call it, like a group, where if you see something in the community and says,
is it on Facebook or?
It's it's exclusive because we want people to reach out, the Hispanic community to reach out, and we'll give you the number, and we'll tell you, okay, if you see something in your community, if you see something that you or something on social media, let's say, and what we do, we just try to investigate,
Nice.
and then we say like, no, this is not true, this is not happening, and then through the WhatsApp app or the WhatsApp group, we can just
tell them fact checking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we do. There's a lot of things that there's going on behind the scenes that are contributing, and I'm just very thankful that I'm able to come here and tell you all about it, that this exists, because I've met so many people in the community that are like, oh, I wish there was something that can help with this family with a lawyer, like we talked about, right? Oh, I wish there was that. HOLA is the place to go.
Nice. I'm gonna make sure that HOLA and your podcast are at the bottom of the video, so people can actually get a hold of it, because I could tell everybody, oh, go to www, but no one's gonna remember that. No one's gonna.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So we were talking about the podcast and how it's impacted the community and your artwork. And when I was doing some research and looking
Oh man, you looked me up. Yeah.
I did, of course I did. I need to know what people. Do you still play like in public, like your music in public venues and all that?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I feel like sometimes I'm more comfortable being on the production side of things sometimes, just being like the conductor. I feel like I'm good at that. I feel like, but I'm always in where there's like I'll tell you about recently. about a project that we're working on right now, and this is tied to like my side of or creativity. So like right now, I'm working on a project where it's called City Sounds. If you go to on Facebook, it's called City Sounds Podcast. So which is a place where we highlight artists, in the community, and there's a huge underground of artists that they're hungry to showcase their art. So I made it my mission to help them out and help them like showcase what they. And it's just funny because I think in this very moment there's people like who are practicing like in their basement, because I was one of those people. There's people that are taking guitar lessons, or they're taking singing lessons, or there's at this very moment there's people who are working hard on their art, and I think there's something beautiful about that. But I feel like there's a big need of a entity, of a place where we can showcase them and put them on a pedestal and showcase their talent. And I mean, that's one of the things that we're doing with City Sounds. We're working with a girl who, she has a beautiful voice. She spent like 10 years working on her craft, but she just needs like a help doing a YouTube video, or whatever. So we're gonna help her with the whole production, like setting recording it, and so that's one of the things that keeps me going, keeps me creative. But as far as playing live right now, no.
Yeah. So when we were talking before, and we were talking about HOLA and how it's there to help make that bridge.
Yes.
Do you have a story or anything that you can give us about how you've seen or been a part of, besides the mural, how HOLA has helped the community?
Man, I am just very proud to be part of this Hispanic organization, HOLA, because I feel like everyone that's there will probably do it for free, but we gotta eat, right?
Well, yeah,
we have to eat. So, including myself, like everybody's there because I know we're like literally making an impact in the community, and it's not showcased around a lot, and there's so many things that are happening in our community. I can say central Wisconsin, and we help like more than 10 counties that we're just helping with, like helping them, and with, like I said before, with resources, with the whole immigration topic, and it's not being talked about enough. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
And I think it's really important to showcase that there's a group of people that are really making an impact. But I know like healthy opportunities for Latin Americans it's tied to the Latino community, right? Because I feel like there's a need for resources, for help get to them, right? Because I can go down the list because of all the barriers. There's just so much like going on that it's important to show it. And I know when we were talking about prior to this interview that this is the work that Healthy Opportunity for Latin Americans does. It doesn't just impact Latin Americans. It impacts our whole community. You know what I mean? So not, if we keep Latin Americans healthy, we keep everybody healthy. You know what I mean? If we, teach or if we educate, our community, our Latin community, about like how the traffic lights work, what the signs mean, and how the medical system works, everything. I think everybody benefits from that.
Oh, totally.
So
it's a longevity of the community, not just one group. But if at my day job, I call it, it's at the hospital, and I use the term, if one of us is drowning, we all drown a little bit.
Yeah.
We all we all get together, and we all share the heartache to make sure that everything's done properly. Everything gets finished.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but yeah, I do worry, especially now. I'm not sure if my podcast is gonna continue. To be honest, and I'm grateful
Yeah.
that you offer me the space to talk about this stuff. You know what I mean? And be honest,
Yeah.
about things. But that's one of the things that's in the back of my mind. And I know some of the people I got informed today that there's a couple of employees that they were let go because of what's going on
Yeah.
right now.
No, and that's
But I feel that I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue to do what I can and to keep our community, not our Latino community, but keep everybody healthy and informed. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I have we hit on everything you wanted to talk about today, or is there anything special that's close to your heart?
No, I'm just very thankful that you offered me the space. And
Yeah.
like I said before, I was really excited to come here. And it's important to open a dialogue as hard it may be or as challenging it may be. Um, it's important to open open the dialogue. So I'm grateful that we can do this,
Yeah.
you know, in a safe, place where we can just talk about, what actually it's going on in our community. So
Exactly.
I think that's really cool. Yeah. And, honored to be the first one.
Believe me, you were actually the first person I communicated with, and
Yeah.
you were the first person to respond back.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. I know we only have a few more seconds, but
Yeah.
what's coming up? What's the new projects for you?
So right now, the new projects, it's just like what I'm doing with the City Sounds, with the City Sounds podcast. Really diving into that. Like I was telling you this morning, we helped a business here in the community that had an idea, that they want to start their own podcast. They want to share the stories, and it's about two entrepreneurs, two girls who are entrepreneurs, and they want to talk about like when things get messy, when things they don't go your way, when how to start something from how to build something from nothing.
Right.
So I'm really excited about just
And how to learn how to pivot.
exactly
Yeah.
how to pivot and all that. So I'm excited and that's more of a conductor thing. I'm
Yeah.
behind the scenes. So one of the things I'm hoping to do more of that and help people produce more programs, more shows, and yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
grateful to be here. Yeah, to with this
I really want to
with the
thank you.
project.
I
Yeah,
really want to thank you for showing up.
yeah,
It's amazing. It was something I've been talking to my wife about for years
Yeah.
to do. I wanted to do it as a podcast, but
Yeah.
you know,
No, this is
'cause-
cool. Yeah, I admire your initiative. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need more people like you. Yeah,
oh well, I'm looking forward to seeing more of your more of your podcasts.
yeah, for sure. And if you need anything from me,
Yeah.
I'm here to help. And then so hopefully this will kind of bring a future collaboration. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? No, thanks again for having me here on your show. I'm just very excited for your show and everything that brings to the community. But if I had to, ask anything to our viewers, is just start conversation with strangers, open dialogues, open healthy dialogues with people, and just start, getting to know people. And I think you'll change your perspective. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and that's one of the things that I try to exercise every day. Talk to strangers and just follow what I do on healthy opportunities for Latin Americans, HOLA. That's where you learn about everything from where the free clinics are, about resources, about vaccination clinics and all that. And if you want to follow me on my adventure, my creative adventure with City Sounds, you can find us on Facebook under City Sounds Podcast. And thanks again. Thank you. It was a pleasure being your first guest here.
Well, you're welcome. So, thank you everybody for participating and joining in on NOWi. the network of Wisconsin Impact. Hopefully, this is our pilot, so hopefully you get to see more of us. All right. Have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.